Everybody, welcome back to the channel. The main event here, and I want to go over these two tournaments that recently happened on Saturday that just passed, the 21st. The Wide League tournament and the Nino friendly fight. The reason I want to go over these two tournaments is because I don't know if I've ever seen a more diverse format than Series 2, and these two tournaments are showing why that is the case. So I want to go up to the standings, and before I continue, leave a like if you guys enjoy this type of stuff. And leave a comment down below. If you've been following any tournament stuff, if you plan on competing, let me know down in the comments below. So if we go to the standings here, this tournament, the Nino Poke Bros friendly fight, was won by Ally VGC, and this one was won by a friend of the channel's Sheik. Shout out to Sheik. I'm actually very happy for him. I was very happy for the little bro when he found out he won the tournament. So I actually want to go and open up the winning teams for each, because I want to show you guys something. These are both open team sheet tournament Series 2 format. So this team, Allies team, only has one paradox, has the Iron Hands. Pretty common, but you know, only has the one paradox. So, and then this team has the one paradox as well, has the Iron Hands. Obviously Iron Hands is going to do really good. It's probably the best paradox Pokemon. But the fact that they both only have one paradox Pokemon is already showing like how diverse the format is. A lot of people were worried that paradoxes were going to just like dominate the format in a way of like people were only going to use like paradoxes or like teams of 4 paradox, but people are really learning quickly that a good paradox mon, maybe 2, maybe 3 with some really good other Pokemon is way better than using some of the paradox because they just mesh better together. And in a lot of situations, sometimes the original might be better than the paradox counterpart. For example, this Amoonguss is on this tournament winning team. Spore, Powder, Rage Powder, Pollen Puff, and Clear Smog, instead of like a Brute Bonnet, because you know Amoonguss has that poison typing to resist the fairy stuff, and then it can go into I actually don't know why he used Terra Fire in this. Maybe to resist fire type moves instead of Terra Water. I guess Terra Water would make you weak to Iron Hand, so that's actually a good call. I want to go to the other one. Yeah, this one only has, so actually look at the Iron Hand set. This one is Terra Grass, Drain Punch, Wild Charge, Swords Dance, Protect, and this one is Drain Punch, Thunder Punch, Swords Dance, Protect. So they both went for different things. This was Terra Fire though as well, instead of Terra Grass. So as you can see, even though they're using the same Pokemon, they do have a difference in move. They both use Swords Dance, which is actually very uncommon on Iron Hands. It's mostly Assault Vest. This one has the Clear Amulet, so it doesn't get intimidated, and this one has the Citrus Berry. So even on Pokemon that are the same on these two winning teams, they're run very differently. Citrus Berry for recovery, Terra Grass to avoid those ground type moves. And on this one, it has the, nope, I just clicked the same one. And this one, it has the, here we go, the Clear Amulet to avoid those intimidates, and then Swords Dance so you can't drop its boost, which is actually really insanely strong as a combination when you think about it. And I think they both have Protect, which is something you usually don't see on Iron Hands as well. And that also brings me to like my next point. These tournaments show that open team sheets are not like gonna ruin creative sets or diversity, because as you can see, the two winners don't have the standard Drain Punch, Wild Charge, Volt Switch, Fake Out. Neither one of these Iron Hands ran Fake Out, which is like the most common standard spread you'll see, especially in open team sheet. But these ones both don't even have that on their movesets, which is actually really interesting to me. They both have a Prankster user, Light Screen, Reflect, Misty Terrain, which is actually pretty interesting, and Spirit Break. So like Misty Terrain is something you never see on Grimmsnarl. It's something you would expect more in closed team sheets where like people are just running gimmicky stuff sometimes. This is where people could see this person is running Misty Terrain, and they're still running Misty Terrain. And they won. Like they won with this, right? So it's like people were really worried that open teams were going to like stop that stuff, but obviously it's not stopping the players who know what they're doing. On this team, the Prankster user also has Light Screen and Reflect. However, it has Encore and Disable. So people saw this team, saw this sheet, saw that the Sableye could not attack you, and this team still won the tournament because it had a good pilot, and a really interesting set that people probably just weren't able to prepare for. The same way you wouldn't be able to prepare in a closed team sheet, you weren't able to prepare for this before the tournament. Like you can change your sets mid-tournament, right? So you know this thing has Encore and Disable. So I'm guessing, I'm not sure if this works exactly like this, but I think if you like encore someone into a move and then disable it, I think they struggle. I have to find out about that, but that's actually a really strong combination. And then light clay screens is always going to be strong, especially when you have like Dragonite, Iron Hands, Amoonguss, and Volcarona Pokemon that can generally take hits depending on how you train them. Excuse me. This Palafin is not on a rain team, which we would normally see. Safety goggles, so you can't put it to sleep or redirect it, which is actually really nice. At least you can't redirect it with Rage Powder. Wave Crash, Jet Punch, Flip Turn, pretty standard set there, but interesting item. Choice Band Dragonite, which is pretty standard, but this one has Ice Spinner and Fire Punch. Terra Water Volk with Protect, Heat Wave, Giga Drain, Quiver Dance is pretty standard stuff. But again, the Iron Hands and the Sableye, two very, very interesting creative choices. And I want to look at this team. This is the Assault Vest variant of Arcanine with Psychic Fangs and Snarl. It's actually, so no Will-O-Wisp, as you see on most Arcanine sets. I do like the Assault Vest set on Arcanine. Psychic Fangs is interesting, which is actually really smart because people are, as you can see, both winning teams had screens. People probably are picking up using screens a bit, especially with like a lot of the bulkier Pokemon or a lot of the frail Pokemon who need some extra bulk with screens. So Psychic Fangs is really good for that. Also, it's good for hitting stuff like Iron Hands. This person actually won the tournament with Corviknight. Terra Dragon is actually interesting. I wish I knew what the Terra Dragon was for. I guess because you normally would be weak to like fire, and I guess you don't want to take that damage. You also resist electricity, which Corviknight is also weak to. That actually is a good call. Safety goggles, Brave Bird, Iron Head, Bulk Up, Roost. Terra Dragon is really interesting. Sylveon, Hyper Voice, Terra Blast, Yawn, Protect. That's pretty standard fire. Gastrodon, Terra Fire, I've seen a little bit. You don't actually see Muddy Water on Gastrodon a lot anymore. It's like Earth Power, like Yawn, Recover, Protect, stuff like that. At least I haven't seen it as much. It probably is still pretty common, but I haven't seen it as much. But like your Iron Hands can't be burned because of the misty terrain. Neither can your Corviknight with Iron Head, and Brave Bird. And I guess because Dragon is typically weak to Steel and Fairy, you can use Corviknight to clear those Pokemon out. And then if they're gone or not on the opponent's team, you Terra Dragon, you kind of just resist everything. And then there's not really any ice types except for like, what's it called? Iron Bundle right now. And you do pretty well into Iron Bundle because Gastrodon stops the water moves from it. Iron Hands hits it for super effective. Arcanine resists the ice and can snarl it. So you actually, this team is actually very, very well put together. For a team that has like some really interesting tech on it, like Psychic Fangs, Arcanine, and Misty Terrain, Grimmsnarl, it's very, very cohesive. So I actually want to go to the standings for each tournament as well. Let's go up here. Oh, I'm not blocking everything because I put myself right here because I wanted to show these without blocking it. So we have the top 8. So I want to look at the top 8, right? Because I want to say both top 8s, only like one Dondozo cut, which is actually, I want to say it's not common, but actually Dondozo doesn't really like dominate a lot of tournaments. Like it cuts usually, but it doesn't cut where like 4 or 5 teams are in there with Dondozo. But I want to look at the Iron Hands number. So Iron Hands was in first place. It came in 3rd as well, and then 6th. So there's 3 in the top 8. You probably would expect there to be more. And then there's what, 2 Fluttermanes? 2 Fluttermanes in the top. No, 3 Fluttermanes in the top 8. So it's represented, but it's not like older formats where like, you know, like Incineroar is like on all the top 8 teams. Fluttermane and Iron Hands, 2 of the 4 best Paradox Pokemon, aren't actually dominating the format. 3rd and 4th place both use Salamence over Roaring Moon. It looks like this one is so let me open this one up. I want to see if it's a Hurricane set. So Draco Meter, Hurricane, Tailwind, Protect. That's the Judy Azarelli set. That is something that he really popularized. A lot of people have moved on to that kind of Salamence with Pelipper and Palafin as a grouping, and it's actually really, really interesting to see that pick up in usage. And I want to see the next Salamence for this tour. And then this Salamence, Draco Meteor, Iron Head, Tailwind Protect with Terra Steel and Focus Sash. That's actually crazy. It's a mixed set. Terra type Steel for the Iron Heads with Intimidate and Focus Sash. Oh, that's actually insane. So I wonder if they were like a minus defense nature because they're Intimidate and then they had the Sash. That's actually really cool. I wish I could ask the team creator about that. That's actually really interesting. And this person also has a brute bonnet on their team. They chose not to go with the Amoonguss route. Photosynthesis type, dark fills, big sucker punches. You still get spore, pollen puff, and you get crunch. So you get way more damage than Amoonguss. You just don't deal with fairies as good, but you do have steel type salamence here for that. You have Volcarona, which also resists fairy. And Rotom just kind of takes hits from everything. Also has a Terra type steel. So this team is well equipped to deal with fairy type Pokemon, even with 2 Pokemon that are weak to fairy types. And this is for the wide league. I'm gonna go over here. So on the Nino Bros side of things, there's 1 Iron Hands, 2 Iron Hands, 3 Iron Hands. There's 4 in the top 8. So Iron Hands is always going to be very, I think in most tournaments it's going to be well represented just because it's the single best Paradox Pokemon in my opinion. We got 1 Fluttermane, 2 Fluttermane, 3 Fluttermane. We have 3 Fluttermanes. And how many Iron Bundles? 1 Iron Bundle here, 2, 3. So we have 3 in the top 8. And then we have the Roaring Moon here. And then 1 Roaring Moon, 1 Great Tusk. So yeah, like as you can see, most of these teams are not opting to run 3 and 4 Paradox Pokemon. And if they are running it, it's something like Brute Bonnet, Sandy Shocks. Actually, that's still just 2 Paradox Pokemon. Never mind. This team has 1, 2. This one has 3 Iron Bundle, Iron Hands, and Roaring Moon. This team just has the 2 Iron Bundle and Fluttermane. This team, the winning team, just had the 1. So yeah, this format is shaping up to be really, really interesting. It hasn't officially started. It starts in 7 days, I believe, or however long February 1st is from the 24th of January, 7 or 8 days. But it's actually going to be really fun. I'm a Great Tusk believer, and I'm glad to see that it top 8 this tournament. And actually, did it do better in the wide league? Let me go back and look. Great Tusk came in 4th and 6th. So 3 Great Tusks in the top 8. And I think that's a direct response to Iron Hands, because you can OHKO Iron Hands depending on how your Iron Hands is built and how the is built. The Iron Hands is built and the Great Tusk is built. And it's interesting because Great Tusk is pretty weak to Bundle and Fluttermane, but Iron Hands is good into Bundle and Fluttermane. So it creates this little cycle where like they kind of all beat each other, so nothing can really truly dominate on its own because there's always something to check it, which is, I think, good for a format. I think that's healthy for any format where everything kind of has a check to it. And in this tournament, did Dondozo even cut? It came in the top 8 for this one. Yeah, and it didn't, and it came in 2nd place for this one, but 1 in each of the top 8 is not bad. Something that is glaring to me though, I don't think there's any Meowscaradas in either one of these cuts. Let's go through each team in the wide league, and let's see if we can. Okay, so Meowscarada is down here at 13 and 14, which is much lower than you would expect it to be because it's a really good Pokemon. And let's go to the Nino tour. I want to see where's the first Meowscarada that I can find. Uh-oh. Huh. Is there just no Meowscaradas? It looks like there are no Meowscaradas, unless I'm missing something here. I don't see one. I think the reason that there's no Meowscaradas is just because of the existence of Iron Bundle. It's faster. Meowscarada tends to run Focus Sash, but Icy Wind breaks the sash, and slows Meowscarada down so that your partner can just pick it off. It makes it really tough for it to exist in this format, admittedly. So I can see why it's not in here a lot. Goldengo is still pretty well represented. It came in third in Nino's. It came in 4th. It looks like it came in 7th. It also came in 10th. So it's still represented. I think that's probably the existence of like Fluttermane and Iron Hands, because Iron Hands obviously can't hit it when it's in its ghost typing, and Fluttermane just drops to a Make It Rain if you can get it off. There's counterplay to it, but along with there's counterplay to everything, right? But yeah, so like these 2 tournaments were interesting as heck to me. The results are interesting as hell. I want to just keep scrolling while I'm talking, just so you guys can show the differences in all the Pokemon that people are using. There's a Screamtail here. People are even using what's it called? Gothitelle. People are not spamming Sun or Pincurchin. At least people who are planning to win, which is interesting. When the series first started, like on Showdown and stuff, and these tournaments were happening, people were trying to force Sun on every single team, or trying to force Pincurchin. But people realize you're better off just having a better Pokemon than having one of those forced on the squad. But anyhow, I've been ranting on long enough. So let me know what you guys think of these tournament results. Do you think these trends are going to continue, where the format is nice and diverse, where people are bringing these creative sets, or do you think it'll regress to something that ends up being a bit more standard? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.